Howdy everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be diving into the first chapter of the second section, and today we're going to be talking about maybe the most important or the second most important chord in all of Western harmony, which is the dominant chord. So a little bit about the dominant chord is that we form these chords, or any seventh chords I should say, by stacking diatonically another third on top of the triads that we have existing. And specifically the dominant chord is built off of the fifth scale degree. There are particular voice leading rules that we need to pay attention to when dealing with the dominant chord, and they're essentially the same as the ones that we learned today in functional harmony. The first one being that the seventh of the dominant chord should be left down in stepwise motion, and the third of the dominant chord should be led upward in stepwise motion, being the fact that they are dissonant tones, one being the leading tone that goes up towards the tonic. And my watch just told me that it's dying. So essentially what we have here is basic rules that we would follow today in harmony. However, the only difference is that in the Tchaikovsky treatise, there's actually specific tones that Tchaikovsky suggests that we guide these other tones to, and he puts them in the treatise in an appendices. And so I'm going to leave them in the notes that are always available to you in the link in the description of this video, and you can read them for yourself if you'd like to see what those exact tones are. Otherwise, what we're going to be dealing with are new inversions. Since now we have 4 tones in a single chord, we're going to actually have 3 inversions instead of the typical 2 inversions of the triad. So the first inversion that we're going to have is of a 6-5 chord, which is the first inversion, a 4-3 chord, which is the second inversion, and the 4-2 chord, which is the third inversion of the dominant chords. Hi, this is future Dane. I just wanted to let you know that for whatever reason when I was filming this, because of that watch moment that you remember from earlier, I think because when I looked to adjust it, it decided that it was going to zoom in and out during the rest of my take. So I apologize in advance for that because I'm just too lazy to refilm it. But yeah, anyway, here we go. Really the only difference that we have between modern functional harmony and the functional harmony that's taught in the treatise by Tchaikovsky is the fact that the third inversion of these dominant chords, instead of being called the chord of the 4-2 inversion, Tchaikovsky simply just calls it the chord of the second inversion, or the second, I think it is actually, because essentially the most important interval that you have in this tight inversion of the chord is the second. I know that I mentioned that at the beginning of this video, this is practically the most important or second most important chord in all of Western harmony. And it's because its essential function is to direct in the most efficient manner back towards the tonic chord, which tells us where home is in any type of functional piece of musical composition. So if you ever have done Schenkerian analysis, there's that big idea of 1-5-1, and you can find it in musical form as well as in harmonic form and analysis. So with all of that out of the way, we can go ahead and dive into an example and go from there. So in this example, what we have to be most aware of is the fact that we actually have all 3 inversions of a dominant 7th chord present. And unfamiliar to our common notation, we now have Tchaikovsky's notation for the treatise, which includes a 2 indicating a third inversion, a 3-4 indicating a second inversion, and a 5-6 indicating a first inversion. So that's about it for today. Obviously, there's going to be more to discuss about this chord as we unravel some of its deeper mysteries as a dissonant chord, as it is labeled in the treatise under this section. But remember, fundamentally, this chord is going to be extremely important to that storytelling aspect that I touched on in previous videos, because this tells us how far away we're getting from our home, and at this point, we're going to come back to it in functional harmony. And that's about it for today, guys. So otherwise, peace.